Dear brothers and sisters, today I want to remind you of a profound truth. Allah is healing you in hidden ways that others cannot see. Life can feel heavy. Sometimes we walk through storms that no one else knows about. We face moments of heartbreak, loss, or confusion. You may feel that your prayers are unheard or that your pain is endless. But remember what Allah tells us in the Quran. Do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. Indeed, it is He who is the forgiving, the merciful. Surah Az-Zumar 39:53. Even when the world cannot see your struggle, Allah sees. Even when your heart feels broken, Allah's plan for your healing is unfolding in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Healing does not always come in grand gestures. Sometimes it comes in whispers, a friend reaching out at just the right moment, a moment of clarity when you least expect it, the gradual lifting of a burden you've carried for years. Imagine the earth after a storm. The soil may look battered and bare, but beneath the surface, roots are taking hold. Flowers are preparing to bloom. So too Allah's healing is happening quietly within you, even when you cannot see it. Patience is more than waiting. It's trusting Allah's timing. The Quran reminds us, and it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing while it is bad for you. Allah knows while you do not know. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216. Sometimes we rush Allah's plan because we cannot see the bigger picture. But trust me, the delays, the trials, and the quiet moments of struggle are all part of a masterpiece being painted for your life. Consider someone who lost their job unexpectedly. At first it feels like a tragedy, a door slammed shut. Yet, months later, that person finds a better opportunity, one that aligns with their talents and passions more perfectly than before. Or a young person facing heartbreak, only to discover a path of personal growth, spiritual connection, and future love that surpasses their imagination. These are the hidden ways Allah heals. He guides, protects, and prepares us for blessings we cannot yet see. Today, I encourage each of you to surrender your pain, your worries, and your impatience to Allah. Trust Him completely. Open your heart to hope and prepare for the blessings He is placing ahead. Life is not just about surviving, it's about seeing the invisible threads of mercy woven into our journey. Imagine walking through a desert. You see endless sand and feel lost. But Allah in His wisdom sends water in the most unexpected oasis. Your healing is that oasis, and it may appear when you least expect it, but rest assured it is coming. So hold on to hope, be patient in your trials, and trust that Allah's plan is far greater than your imagination. Your hidden healing is already at work. Your story is not over. It is just beginning. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Surah Ash-Shar 94:6. May Allah open your hearts to His unseen blessings and fill your lives with peace, guidance, and profound healing. Life is often a journey that wears many faces. To the outside world, people may see us smiling, working, interacting, and going about our daily routines. But inside there may be a quiet storm raging, a storm that no one else can witness. Each of us carries burdens in our hearts, struggles in our minds, and unseen scars on our souls. These struggles are not always visible. They are hidden beneath layers of resilience, courage, and the desire to keep moving forward despite the weight of life pressing down on us. Sometimes we try to explain our pain to others, but it is often met with misunderstanding, or worse, dismissal. And other times we may feel too tired, too ashamed, or too broken to even speak. Yet, even in those moments, Allah is aware. He sees the tears we wipe away in secret, the prayers we whisper when no one is listening, and the quiet battles we fight alone. The Quran reminds us, and we have already created man and know what his soul whispers to him, and we are closer to him than his jugular vein. Surah Kahf 50:16. This verse reassures us that nothing, no matter how hidden, escapes Allah's notice. Even the parts of our hearts that we do not dare reveal, even the fears and regrets we try to bury, are fully known to Him. Many of us face struggles that appear ordinary to others, but feel monumental to us. Perhaps it is the loss of a loved one whose absence leaves a silent ache. The world continues to move forward, but for you time feels frozen, and every small task becomes a reminder of what is missing. Or perhaps it is a health challenge, chronic or sudden, that limits your body and weighs heavily on your spirit. People may look at you and think, They seem fine while you are navigating pain, frustration, and fear every single day. There are also struggles of the heart and mind, loneliness, depression, anxiety, uncertainty about the future, that are invisible yet deeply consuming. These struggles can make you question your own worth, your purpose, and your faith, and yet they are part of the human experience. Allah does not burden anyone beyond what they can bear, but He does allow tests to enter our lives so that we may grow, reflect, and ultimately find a deeper connection with Him. As the Quran says, do not think of those who are killed in the way of Allah as dead. Rather, they are alive with their Lord, receiving provision. Surah Al-Imran 3:169. While this verse speaks of martyrs, the broader wisdom applies, even when life seems unjust or painful, and even when our struggles feel overwhelming, there is unseen life, mercy, and purpose at work beyond what we perceive. It is easy to fall into despair when facing hidden struggles, especially when society glorifies outward success and visible happiness. Social media and public appearances often create a deceptive world where everyone else seems to have it all together. This comparison can make our private struggles feel even more isolating. Yet these moments of hidden struggle are often where Allah's mercy is most present, even if we do not recognize it immediately. Just as a seed germinates beneath the soil in darkness before it ever breaks through the earth to blossom in the sunlight, our inner battles may be preparing us for spiritual growth, resilience, and blessings that are not yet visible. Think of someone who has endured years of personal hardship, perhaps rejection, betrayal, or unfulfilled dreams. Each day they carry the weight of disappointment, yet they continue to pray, they continue to strive, and they continue to trust Allah. To an outsider, their progress may seem slow, even non-existent, but Allah is aware of every tear, every moment of patience, and every whispered prayer. He is watching over them, guiding them in ways that cannot be measured by worldly standards. Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. Surah Al-Aqarah 2:286. These words are not mere consolation. They are a promise that in the depths of struggle there is divine awareness, and in divine awareness there is ultimate justice, mercy, and care. Hidden struggles also manifest in the choices we make, the roads we avoid, and the sacrifices we bear silently. A student may work multiple jobs to support their family while maintaining their studies, feeling exhaustion and isolation that others cannot perceive. A parent may stay awake at night worrying about the well-being and future of their children, feeling invisible in their tireless dedication. A spouse may silently endure hardship to preserve the unity and happiness of their household. Each act of endurance, each silent tear, each moment of struggle is witnessed and treasured by Allah. Moreover, our hidden struggles can sometimes be sources of deep reflection and spiritual awakening. When life strips away the distractions and comforts, we are left face to face with our dependence on Allah. We realize how fragile life is, how fleeting worldly possessions can be, and how essential trust in the Creator becomes. It is often in the darkest valleys of life that the soul learns to turn to Allah fully, seeking solace, guidance, and healing. And even when we do not feel immediate relief, our continued faith and resilience are themselves forms of worship and purification of the heart. Sometimes the most profound hidden struggles involve reconciling our expectations with reality. We may have dreamed of certain successes, relationships, or paths in life, only to encounter barriers and disappointments. These moments can feel like personal failure, but in reality they are opportunities for Allah's wisdom to guide us toward what is best. A door that closes may redirect us to a path more aligned with our ultimate good, even if it is unseen at the moment. Like a patient gardener tending to a plant, Allah nurtures our hearts and souls in ways that may not be visible until the right season of growth arrives. In acknowledging our hidden struggles, we also acknowledge the power of empathy and shared human experience. Every person we meet carries unseen burdens, and the world becomes a more compassionate place when we remember this truth. A smile, a kind word, or a gesture of support can carry profound significance to someone whose struggles are invisible. Similarly, we can remind ourselves that our own struggles, while deeply personal, are part of a greater tapestry of human life, where patience, perseverance, and faith are refined by adversity. Hidden struggles are not meant to be permanent, but they are essential. They teach us humility, resilience, and the necessity of turning to Allah in all matters. They remind us that life is not measured solely by outward appearances or immediate successes, but by the depth of our faith, the sincerity of our intentions, and the trust we place in Allah's wisdom. Every quiet tear, every whispered prayer, and every silent battle is acknowledged, preserved, and transformed by Allah into wisdom, strength, and eventual relief. Allah's healing often comes in ways that are invisible to the human eye. We may search for signs in dramatic events, instant solutions, or outward changes, but Allah works in subtler, quieter manners, ways that are deeply intentional, perfectly timed, and entirely aligned with our ultimate good. The Quran reminds us, and it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing while it is bad for you. Allah knows while you do not know. Surah Al-Aqarah 2:216. This verse teaches us that human perception is limited, and often what we view as hardship, loss, or delay is a sign of Allah's careful unseen guidance. Healing may not appear as a sudden miracle, but it can emerge in the most ordinary, overlooked moments. Small adjustments that gradually transform the heart, the mind, and the circumstances of our lives. Consider the way Allah orchestrates subtle healing through the people around us. Perhaps a friend reaches out at precisely the moment we feel most alone. Perhaps a stranger's kind words or a gentle act restores hope in our hearts when we were on the brink of despair. These are not mere coincidences. They are manifestations of Allah's mercy and care, delivered in forms that we might dismiss if we do not pause to reflect. Just as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us that even a smile to another is a form of charity, the seemingly small gestures in our lives are often vessels of healing that Allah uses to mend what is broken within us. Healing can also manifest as new understanding or insight. Sometimes when we are overwhelmed by grief, confusion, or disappointment, Allah grants us clarity in moments of stillness, guiding our thoughts towards solutions, patience, or forgiveness. A person struggling with failure may find an idea or inspiration that reorients their path toward a better outcome. A student frustrated by repeated setbacks may discover a method, mentor, or inner strength that leads to academic and personal success. These are the hidden currents of divine intervention, moving silently beneath the surface, preparing the ground for our eventual growth. The Quran emphasizes this subtle guidance, saying, Allah is the protector of those who have faith. He brings them out of darkness into light. Surah Al-Aqarah 2:257. Often the darkness is not removed all at once. Rather, Allah introduces small lights illuminating steps forward, healing doubts and pain incrementally, in ways that we might only recognize upon reflection. Nature itself is a testimony to Allah's subtle healing. Observe the seasons, the barren tree that appears lifeless through winter, yet beneath the surface sap flows and roots strengthen, preparing it for spring. Consider the desert after rainfall, when seeds long dormant begin to sprout in ways unseen until the right conditions arrive. Likewise, Allah nurtures our hearts and souls in quiet, hidden ways. A personal crisis may seem devastating at first, but often it softens the heart, teaches empathy, or redirects us toward a more meaningful path. Healing may come through patience, reflection, or a shift in perspective rather than immediate resolution. Sometimes Allah's hidden healing appears through what seems like delay or denial. Perhaps a prayer seems unanswered, a dream deferred, or a goal unattained. To the human eye, this can be disheartening, but Allah is arranging circumstances and preparing us for blessings that align with His wisdom. Perhaps the delay allows the heart to mature, the mind to gain clarity, or the soul to strengthen its reliance on Allah. Just as a sculptor chisels away at a block of marble to reveal a masterpiece, Allah may refine our character through trials and apparent obstacles, producing beauty and resilience that we could not have achieved otherwise. The Quran reminds us, indeed with hardship comes ease. Indeed with hardship comes ease. Surah Ash-Shah 94:6. Healing may not be immediate, but it is inevitable when we trust in Allah's timing and embrace the journey. Consider real-life examples of hidden healing. A person struggling with a toxic environment may feel trapped, frustrated, or demoralized. Yet Allah may guide them to a new opportunity, relationship, or environment that nurtures their potential in ways they could not foresee. A family experiencing financial hardship may later discover that the very struggles they endured taught them patience, budgeting skills, and gratitude that eventually led to stability and abundance. Someone grieving a loss may in time find solace in new connections, renewed faith, or a purpose that brings fulfillment beyond what they imagined. These are subtle signs of Allah's healing at work, often invisible at first, but undeniable in hindsight. Healing also manifests within ourselves, through the heart and soul. Emotional wounds can close gradually as we reflect,
pray and forgive. Spiritual struggles can resolve as we reconnect with Allah and embrace patience. Mental burdens ease as we gain understanding and perspective, often guided by small, seemingly mundane events that Allah uses to teach, correct, or nurture our hearts. Sometimes a book, a lecture, a quiet moment of reflection, or a verse from the Quran speaks directly to the pain within us, offering clarity, comfort, and hope. These are not random moments, they are precise interventions from Allah, addressing the deepest layers of our being, in ways no human can replicate. Healing can also appear through trials themselves. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, a legend, taught that hardships are purification for the believer, and a means of drawing nearer to Allah. Even in difficulty, there is restoration. A broken relationship may lead to self-discovery, and a stronger, more loving connection in the future. A career setback may reveal untapped potential, redirecting one toward a vocation that aligns more deeply with purpose and skill. Allah's wisdom orchestrates these events as a form of subtle healing, correcting our path, softening our hearts, and expanding our understanding of life's meaning. Our own awareness of Allah's subtle signs often requires patience, reflection, and attentiveness. Healing is frequently hidden because it is a process, not an event. Just as a river carves its path gradually through rock, or as a seed germinates slowly before sprouting, the soul heals incrementally. Recognizing these signs requires a heart that looks beyond the obvious, a mind that trusts the unseen, and a spirit attuned to Allah's guidance.
Patience is one of the most powerful tools a believer can possess, yet it is also one of the most challenging. Life often confronts us with situations that test our limits, moments when our plans falter, when obstacles appear insurmountable, or when our hearts ache with longing and disappointment. In these moments, patience is not simply a matter of waiting, it is a profound act of faith, a surrender to Allah's wisdom, and a trust that every delay, every challenge, and every apparent setback is part of a greater plan. The Quran reminds us, O you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with the patient. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:153. Patience is therefore not passive, it is active reliance on Allah, coupled with perseverance, hope, and resilience. It is the understanding that while we may see only the surface of our circumstances, Allah sees the entirety of our journey, the past, the present, and the potential of what is to come. Trust in divine timing requires a shift in perspective. Human beings are accustomed to measuring success by immediate results, visible outcomes, or the speed at which prayers are answered. Yet Allah operates beyond the confines of human perception. Sometimes we pray for relief, for guidance, for success, or for healing, and we expect it to manifest instantly. When it does not, we may grow frustrated, disheartened, or even doubt the wisdom of Allah's plan. The Quran reminds us, and it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing while it is bad for you. Allah knows while you do not know. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216. Trusting divine timing means accepting that what we perceive as delay may be Allah's way of preparing us for something far greater than we can imagine. It is the acknowledgement that our understanding is limited, while His wisdom encompasses all. Consider the life of a young professional who tirelessly seeks a career opportunity that aligns with their passion and education. Rejection after rejection may leave them feeling hopeless, questioning their abilities, or doubting their worth. Yet Allah's timing is precise. That person may later discover an opportunity that not only fulfills their career aspirations, but also brings unexpected blessings, new mentors, enriching experiences, and a platform to make a profound impact. In hindsight, the earlier setbacks are revealed not as failures, but as divine preparation, shaping resilience, character, and skill. Each period of waiting, each trial is part of the intricate timing of Allah's plan, teaching patience and refining the soul. Patience also plays a crucial role in emotional and spiritual healing. When a relationship ends, a dream remains unfulfilled, or a loss leaves an empty space in our hearts, our immediate reaction may be grief, anger, or despair. Yet, if we practice patience, allowing ourselves time to process, reflect, and seek solace in Allah, we gradually discover that these trials often carry hidden benefits. A broken relationship may teach self-awareness, empathy, and boundaries. A personal setback may ignite creativity, new opportunities, and unexpected joy. The heart, when nurtured by patience, becomes resilient, wiser, and more attuned to Allah's mercy. Trusting divine timing requires both surrender and action. Patience does not mean inactivity or complacency. Rather, it means striving to improve, to learn, and to maintain hope. all while acknowledging that the outcomes are in Allah's hands. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam exemplified this balance. He faced immense challenges, persecution and hardship, yet he remained steadfast, patient and fully reliant on Allah. His life teaches us that patience is intertwined with trust and effort. It is the courage to keep moving forward while leaving the unseen results to Allah. One of the most profound aspects of divine timing is that it is perfect, even when human hearts cannot perceive it. We may rush to achieve our goals, eager to control every detail, but often our impatience blinds us to blessings that are quietly unfolding. Imagine planting a seed and demanding it bloom the next day. Nature has its own timing. The roots must grow deep, the soil must be prepared, and the sun and rain must align. Similarly, our lives are cultivated over time. Every trial, every challenge, and every period of waiting is part of this divine cultivation, preparing us to receive what we prayed for in the best possible way. Real-life examples of divine timing are abundant. A student who fails an exam may later realize that the failure redirected them to a field more suited to their strengths and interests. A couple who faces delays in marriage may ultimately find partners whose values, character, and life paths align far better than they could have imagined. Even in matters of health, recovery may take longer than expected, but the journey often teaches patience, resilience, and gratitude, transforming our understanding of wellness beyond the physical into spiritual and emotional growth. Patience and trust in Allah's timing also bring peace amidst uncertainty. When we surrender our desire for immediate answers and outcomes, we open our hearts to the divine rhythm of life. Anxiety diminishes, clarity emerges, and a sense of purpose becomes apparent. The Quran provides reassurance. Indeed, Allah is with those who fear Him and those who are doers of good. Surah An-Nahl 16:128. Those who practice patience are not passive victims of circumstance. They are active participants in a journey guided by divine wisdom, protected by Allah's presence, and prepared to receive blessings at the perfect moment. Moreover, patience nurtures gratitude. As we learn to wait and trust, we begin to recognize the subtle ways Allah answers our prayers. Healing may come as restored relationships, new opportunities, or inner peace that we could not have anticipated. Each moment of endurance becomes a reminder of Allah's mercy, and each delay is a lesson in reliance and faith. In this way, patience transforms struggle into growth, delay into preparation, and waiting into an active form of worship that elevates the soul. In every community and in every home, there are stories of people who have faced trials so heavy that others wondered how they continued to stand. Yet with time it became clear that Allah was guiding them through those challenges in ways no one noticed at first. These real-life examples remind us that hidden healing is not something abstract or distant. It is woven into the experiences of ordinary people whose lives were transformed by moments of divine intervention that initially appeared insignificant or even painful. Think of a young woman who longed for stability and happiness. She had been praying for a particular job that she believed would change her life. Every interview ended in rejection. Every opportunity she thought was meant for her slipped away. She cried in sujood, feeling like her prayers were going unanswered. Months later, she was offered a position she did not expect, one far better than anything she had previously pursued. Not only did it match her skills perfectly, but it brought her companionship, emotional growth, and spiritual grounding through colleagues who encouraged her faith. When she looked back, she realized that each rejection had been protection, not punishment. Allah had been guiding her away from environments she was unaware would harm her, and directing her towards something more aligned with her purpose. This is how Allah heals through disappointment, by redirecting the heart toward what is truly beneficial. Consider also the story of a man who had spent years in a difficult marriage. The home was filled with tension, silence, and emotional distance. He felt trapped, confused, and afraid to speak about his pain because he believed patience meant enduring everything without seeking change. Eventually, after deep reflection, sincere prayer, and guidance, he and his spouse parted ways. People whispered, judged, and speculated. They saw only the outward separation but not the inner exhaustion that led to it. Alone in the quiet of his new life, he struggled with guilt and loneliness, unsure of what the future held. Then gradually Allah sent small signs of healing: a supportive friend who checked on him regularly, a new hobby that brought peace to his heart, and opportunities to volunteer that restored his sense of purpose. What he thought was the end of his happiness turned out to be the beginning of his healing journey, one that led him to self-awareness, spiritual maturity, and eventually a healthier, more compassionate relationship built on faith and understanding.
There is also the story of an elderly mother who had spent years praying for her children's guidance. One son had drifted away from the family, making choices that brought her heartache. She prayed night after night, hoping for a sign, longing for reconciliation. For years nothing changed. Then one day, unexpectedly, her son returned home seeking forgiveness. He embraced her with tears, admitting he had felt lost and overwhelmed. He told her how a single moment, a reminder he heard in a lecture, a verse recited in a gathering, had struck him so deeply that he decided to change his life. She realized that Allah had been working on his heart all along, even in the silence, even in the absence. Her patience had not been ignored. Her prayers had been traveling, shaping his journey behind the scenes. Healing arrived quietly, through a shift in someone's heart that only Allah could orchestrate. Another powerful example is that of a student who struggled with self-doubt. She compared herself to others constantly and believed she lacked talent and potential. Every exam filled her with anxiety, and every small mistake felt catastrophic. She prayed for confidence but felt unchanged for a long time. Then Allah began to send her healing through unexpected channels, a teacher who spoke kindly about her dedication, a classmate who offered help and expressed admiration for her perseverance, and a moment in which she stumbled upon a verse that lifted her spirits. So do not weaken and do not grieve, and you will be superior if you are true believers. Surah Al-Imran 3:139. Slowly she began to believe in herself. Her grades improved, yes, but more importantly her heart softened toward herself. She learned that healing does not always come in overwhelming bursts. Sometimes it comes through steady reassurance, gentle encouragement, and small victories that build a foundation of strength. Real-life examples of hidden healing also come from those who endure grief. Imagine a father who loses a beloved child. The pain is unimaginable, and the world seems to lose color. People may offer condolences, but none can fully understand the depth of his sorrow. In moments like these, healing appears impossible. Yet Allah's mercy reaches him in subtle ways, a dream in which he sees his child smiling, a reminder that the child is safe in Jannah, or a moment of spiritual insight that allows him to feel the closeness of Allah in his suffering. He may discover that the tragedy deepened his empathy, strengthened his bonds with loved ones, or awakened him to blessings he had previously overlooked. His pain does not vanish, but through divine comfort he learns to carry it with grace and hope. There are countless others, people whose lives seem to crumble only for Allah to rebuild them in ways far stronger and more beautiful. The business owner who lost everything but later found a new path that brought both wealth and barakah. The mother battling illness who discovered strength she never knew she had and became a source of inspiration for her family. The teenager struggling with identity who found peace through reconnecting with the Quran and realizing their worth in the eyes of Allah rather than in the opinions of people. In each of these stories, healing did not arrive with fanfare or dramatic transformation. It came quietly, gradually, and with a mercy so subtle that it could be missed unless the heart was open to seeing it. These experiences remind us that Allah heals in whispers, in small mercies, in new opportunities, in shifted perspectives, in changed hearts, and in moments that seem ordinary at first glance, but carry the fingerprints of divine care. Encouragement for surrender and hope begins with a simple truth. When a believer lets go of the illusion of control and places full trust in Allah, the heart finds a type of peace that nothing in this world can offer. Life pushes us to cling tightly to our plans, our desires, and our expectations. We map out our futures in detail, imagining how everything should unfold. But the journey rarely matches the blueprint in our minds. There are turns we did not anticipate, delays we did not choose, and blessings we did not recognize because they arrived dressed as trials. In these moments, surrender is not weakness, it is a profound act of faith, a declaration that we trust Allah more than we trust our own limited vision. The Quran reminds us, and whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. Surah At-Talaq 65:3. To say Allah is enough for me is to free the heart from the heaviness of constantly trying to control what was never in our hands to begin with. It is to breathe again after years of suffocating under the weight of expectations. Surrendering to Allah's plan does not mean giving up or losing ambition. It means recognizing that the outcomes of our efforts are guided by a wisdom far greater than our own. It means preparing ourselves for blessings even when the path toward them appears uncertain. Consider a person who has been praying for marriage, longing for companionship and stability. Every time they feel hopeful, something falls apart. Families disagree, timing doesn't align, or hearts change unexpectedly. It would be easy to fall into despair, to assume that Allah is withholding happiness. Yet surrender teaches us that when something does not happen, it is because Allah is saving us from heartbreak or redirecting us to someone who will nurture our faith, honor our dignity, and walk with us toward Jannah. Hope means continuing to make dua, continuing to prepare the heart, and continuing to trust that the one who created love will bless us with it in the most meaningful form. There is also the example of someone who dreams of financial stability after years of struggle. They work hard, budget carefully, and pray consistently, yet their progress feels slow. In such moments, surrender means understanding that provision comes from Allah alone, and that delayed wealth may be protecting them from arrogance, wastefulness, or circumstances that could pull them away from their spiritual path. Hope means believing that Allah will send rizq in ways they cannot yet imagine, through opportunities, connections, or ideas that are currently hidden from sight. The Quran reminds us, and He will provide for him from where he does not expect. Surah At-Talaq 65:3. Hidden provision is often the sweetest, because it arrives at the exact moment it is needed, not a second earlier or later. Surrendering to Allah also means preparing our hearts to let go of what harms us. Sometimes, Allah removes people from our lives, whose presence was slowly diminishing our spirit, even if we were deeply attached to them. A friendship ends abruptly, a relationship dissolves, or distance grows without explanation. The pain may feel unbearable at first, but with time, clarity emerges. The believer begins to understand that Allah's protection sometimes feels like loss, because we are unaware of dangers behind the scenes. Hope means trusting that when Allah takes something away, it is only to replace it with something better, maybe not the same type of blessing, but something more aligned with our spiritual and emotional well-being. Hope itself is an act of worship. It keeps the heart alive, resilient, and connected to Allah even when the world feels dim. A person who carries hope believes in the possibility of change, redemption, forgiveness, and new beginnings. Hope holds the hand of patience and whispers, Allah has not forgotten you. It strengthens the believer's resolve during uncertainty. Imagine someone battling depression or anxiety, fighting silent wars daily. They might feel distant from Allah, overwhelmed by their thoughts, and unsure how to move forward. But every moment they say, Ya Allah, help me, they are demonstrating extraordinary faith. Hope pushes them to seek healing, to try again each day, and to believe that their pain has a purpose beyond what they can see. Allah sees their struggle, their effort, their sincerity. Healing may come gradually, through therapy, support, prayer, or moments of clarity, but hope keeps the door open for Allah's mercy to enter. Preparing for future blessings is also a crucial part of surrender. When a believer trusts Allah, they do not sit back passively. They cultivate themselves so that when Allah sends a blessing, they are ready to receive it. A person who wants marriage works on their character, emotional maturity, and faith. Someone who wants financial relief develops discipline, responsibility, and gratitude. A person who prays for a child learns patience and compassion. Preparing for blessings demonstrates sincerity. It shows Allah that we are not merely wishing, we are striving. Just as farmers prepare the soil before rain comes, believers prepare their hearts, habits, and intentions before Allah's gifts arrive. Surrender and hope illuminate the world in a different way. Challenges become opportunities for growth rather than reasons for despair. Delays become signs of divine care rather than punishment. Even moments of pain become reminders of how deeply Allah is involved in the details of our lives. A believer who surrenders begins to see Allah's wisdom in places where others see only confusion. They trust that every event, whether joyful or difficult, is shaping them into the person they are meant to become. Sometimes, Allah tests our ability to hope during long seasons of uncertainty. A person searching for meaning may feel lost for years. Another trying to change a harmful habit may slip repeatedly. A family waiting for a child may feel their hearts breaking with every passing month. In these moments, surrender means believing that Allah hears every dua, sees every tear, and knows the exact moment when relief will come. Hope means believing that the story is still unfolding, and that unforeseen blessings are being written, even as we struggle. There are stories of ordinary people, whose entire lives changed, because they held on to hope, even when circumstances seemed hopeless. The man who remained patient through years of illness, only to witness a recovery that strengthened his faith. The woman who felt forgotten in her loneliness, only to discover friendships and love she never imagined. The young person who battled self-doubt, only to later become a source of confidence and inspiration for others. Their stories remind us that Allah's mercy is not limited by what we see. His ability to transform lives exceeds every expectation, and through it all, surrender and hope teach the believer to walk through life with a heart anchored in trust, knowing that what Allah has planned is always greater, and that the path ahead is filled with unseen blessings already on their way.